Yo, yo, what's going on, guys? Today we got ourselves a match on Winter and Stieg using the Horton's Frontline mod. We are playing mid-war, and I am running the support doctrine. Get a lot of really interesting stuff with this doctrine, including a captured T-34, lots of Ost-Jaegers squads, and Osttruppen style squads, basically Russian conscripts. On my team, I got Ginger Man. He's a pretty decent player, and we got Dankosaurus Rex and Gandalf is not a Jedi on the other team. Yeah, this map is usually a 1v1 map, but what's really nice about the Horton's Frontline mod is you can run 8v8s on basically every map. Typically don't want to do more than 2v2s on these 1v1 maps because the center point can just turn into a dog pile. It doesn't really increase the amount of objectives that spawn into the field. But yeah, right from the beginning, just get the guys right into the point and start digging foxholes. One thing I probably should have done is throw smokes, but they didn't really seem to be doing that either, so it's not really a big deal. Got some guys spread out around the home point a bit. Just waiting for the second squad to come in, maybe a half track. And as you can see up there, I think they already have a machine gun. Very early machine gun, like a Maxim gun or something like that. And yeah, we got our foxholes dug. Another thing too you should try to remember to do is press K, split the squad up while you're doing that, just so they don't run away from the foxhole after you're done digging them. Definitely a very early mistake a lot of people make in multiplayer. But yeah, it's definitely one of the best 1v1 maps from the new Finest Hour expansion. Definitely like this one a lot. It can be kind of a slog, especially if you got infantry guns and artillery going on both sides. It can be pretty neat for tank duels, as you'll see here in a bit. We will be getting some tanks out into the field. Some interesting engagements going. Got a few smokes popped out there just to give some cover to the guys digging foxholes. Got my first half track going. And yeah, as you can see, they changed up the icons a little bit in Hortons. And yeah, one of my complaints from the game is not a lot of people, not like the Germans don't really get their hands on a lot of captured Soviet equipment. Realistically, in the war, PPSH-41 was used about as much as the MP-40. They was from what I've heard, it's the second most captured, or the second most used submachine gun from the Germans. And these Osttruppen, Ost-Jaegers, they get pretty much all Russian weapons. PPSH-41, Mosin's, SVT, the works. And yeah, Ginger gets himself an early Panzer 1. Obviously a lot better than just having a Maxim gun. And they got themselves a 45mm over there. That's definitely going to be a problem for my half track. Thankfully it doesn't turn and shoot me instantly. And yeah, lots of interesting call-ins for this doctrine. Oh, yeah, got a lot of dudes coming in here. Unfortunately, my guy gets whacked pretty quickly, but got some really juicy nades out here. Yeah, one nade gets like 6 people right there. Not very good for Dank. Definitely always good to be direct controlling those grenade throws. I mean, some people like to spam the hotkey, just get a bunch of grenades out with a group. I sometimes don't find that to be as effective, just because of the fact that the AI will get up and run away before the grenade explodes, and you're just kind of wasting your grenades at that point sometimes. But one thing that I really do like that this mod adds, as far as new equipment goes, is light mortars, not just for Finland, but also for Soviet Union and um, for Germany. They get that 5 centimeter mortar, which I just called in, and that thing can be decently effective. Got my rifle grenadier up here just for some little side HE shells. Not really sure if I. Oh yeah. I didn't need to drop the rifle there. Pretty meta thing to do for multiplayer. Like the second that you spawn a squad with a rifle grenadier, you have them drop the rifle grenade. But one really nice quality of life touch in Hordens is you don't really need to do that. They just come only with the rifle grenade. And you want to be in vanilla. You want to be dropping that just so the rifle grenadier is just shooting the rifle grenades. I mean, with the U.S., you don't really want to be doing that as much because you don't get as many. Unlike with the Germans, they get about 10 HEs, 5 to 6 heats. Pretty effective for killing light vehicles. If you have several of those rifle grenadiers out and you have them in a good spot, they can definitely tear apart squads, especially if they're not spread out. And yeah, here I call in a sniper. Snipers are very, very good for this map. Pretty open. Definitely one thing you want to be using to decap points. And here, hopefully this light mortar will put in some work. That pile of crap there can be a really good spot on the Allied side to be hiding people. That spot is usually pretty good spot to hide officers, and yeah, here Ginger gets a good shot off on a T-26 with a Panzer 38T. Love to see it. And here on the top left, I think they got a early T-34 coming in, or T-28. Yep, that's a T-28. Immediately killing Ginger's Panzer 38T, unfortunately, and the Panzer 1. Hate to see it. That's just kind of the course of the game. Soviets typically get earlier tanks, and we got Tier 1 coming in here. I called in mine a bit late, but this is, I believe, yeah, that captured German BT. That is in the vanilla game. It is part of the irregular doctrine. One thing I do like about this game, it does change up one thing, and that is the scouts that you get riding on the BT. They're just normal scouts in vanilla, but in this mod, as you can see, they got 5 veterancy, and they got 345 health. Makes them a lot more useful than in vanilla. I just kind of pull up the BT and have them take some shots onto some dudes under the middle point. And yeah, as you can see, my guys are running out of ammo pretty quickly. Another change that's kind of nice in Hordens is troops tend to fire a bit more frequently. You don't really need to have them do suppress fire as much. You'll have, guys with like PPSHs firing a bit more frequently. Excuse me. You don't really need to take direct control with them as much, to have them spray or use suppressing fire. That can be pretty neat. And here I get a pretty nice HE shot on that Dishka. And yeah, another really cool thing about these scouts, I think this is also the case in vanilla. They come with a couple of them come with the MKB-42, early version of the STG-44. You ever play Red Orchestra 2? That is a very, very coveted gun in that game. Here I take direct control and just go buck wild on these guys. And one thing I have noticed too is whenever you're taking direct control of guys and you're trying to just shoot them with guns, it seems to do a bit less damage than if you just let the AI do it. I guess that just kind of keeps it a bit balanced, makes it so you're not just, running around with one guy just slaughtering people. I guess, I don't know. It's a little annoying, but it is what it is. Here I see them moving a light tank onto our right flank. I think that's like one of their BTs. Not entirely sure. We'll see what it is here coming up. And here I have these scouts dig in just for extra line of sight. But, oh yeah, they got a T-26 and I think that's a BT over there too. But yeah, another neat little change in Hortons is you don't really have to worry too much about sight lines. Yeah, here I get a pretty nice shot on that T-26. This is the machine gun version. Not really the best tank. I mean, it's an early war tank. I mean, if nothing can really, you don't really have an AT rifle in the stage of the game, it can be kind of hard to go up against it. And yeah, they got a T-34 coming in the middle. I'd pull back my BT just so it doesn't get immediately shredded. And yeah, those guys are running out of ammo pretty quickly. That's just definitely a downside to your troops firing more. You gotta micromanage their ammo supply a bit more than you normally do in the base game, but it is what it is. Here we rotate some more guys into the center just to keep the cap weight. And you probably won't hear it in the video. I'm probably gonna end up turning out the audio because I haven't quite figured out how to drown out Discord audio from the actual like full recording audio quite yet. That's something I'm gonna have to figure out how to do. Yeah, that's a Tetrarch actually. I think they add a lot more Lend-Lease tanks for the Soviets in this mod. Quite a few things like the quad mount, several other Sherman types, and more like British tanks. That Tetrarch can be a little nasty. I mean, if you played as the British, they're pretty cheap. And here I get a pretty nice shot on this Tetrarch. Doesn't have like the best armor. Soviet 45 mil can be pretty decent. If you know where to shoot, you can take out a Panzer III, Panzer IV with the right shot. Here I go for a full kill. You typically want to do that as often as you can. And yeah, they got more troops just kind of bunched up here. Might get another good nade here. Oh. That one just kind of falls into the building and kills the two guys in there. Take direct control and just immediately pre-fire and spray that guy down. End up wiping out that whole squad pretty much. And those are some paratroopers as well. Interesting. And at this point, it's getting close to the tier 2 mark. I figure they might not be rushing light tanks over here too much. I see them kind of building up more troops in the center, so I rotate this BT over just to kind of sling some HEs. I mean, at this point of the match, it's going to be outclassed by pretty much everything they bring out. I mean, if this thing takes a hit, it's going to be going down. They bring up I think that's a 37mm AA gun. pretty deadly for troops. I just have that BT kind of go in on it, and yeah, they're starting to decap us here in the center. And that is a pretty interesting little squad there that I highlighted there. That is a German squad that comes with some of the new light mortars. Let me get a shot here. Not quite. Sometimes it's better to just let the AI do it. And yeah, tier 2 is here. I believe I just called in a German Butte Panzer T-34 76. Ginger seems to be rushing in a Panzer III. Not entirely sure if that's really going to do much on the T-34. And here, I'm trying to just have that BT just shoot at that. I just have it set to attack ground, which can be pretty useful. Yep. Looks like I just killed a few of the crew, but it's still kind of going buck wild there. And I attempt to challenge this T-34. T-34 76 and the 85 doesn't have the best frontal armor, so I might be able to do something about this. Another bounce. And the BT finally gets the 37 millimeter. Another bounce. Now these tier 3 squad, this tier 3 squad is moving into the center. Did get a track on that, so that T-34 isn't going to be going anywhere. Another bounce. Yeah, it doesn't really seem to be doing the trick. But we at least have something that can sort of go toe-to-toe with their medium armor for now. The Panzer IV F2 is a very, very good choice in mid-war. They have quite a bit of guys behind that area. Like I said, that pile of crap that's just on like both sides of our point is a really, really good area to be just holding dudes off, stacking people on the point. Behind that is typically like where you want to be hiding your officer if you want to extra cap weight. Here I just attack around again with the BT. It's nothing really more than just a mobile 45mm gun at this point. And here, I'm not exactly sure what happened to this light mortar, but it got damaged. I'm trying to repair it here, but I don't think it actually has repair kits in the inventory, so I think I just end up taking one from the BT. Oh. He has one in his inventory and he's not even repairing. Very weird. Must be a little bug with the mod. And here I bring up a Panzer IV F2. Usually what you want to be doing to counter T-34s. You can even like easily shred KVs as well. Here I go into first person. Usually that can be like the move. And there we go. Finally get a good hit. And it looks like Gandalf has brought out a Matilda II CS. And if you ever play early war, that thing can be really devastating as the British. And looks like he finally got that mortar back online. They're still decapping us in the center. They have 3 mediums, probably, I think it's like 2 T-34s and that Matilda. But yeah, early war, that Matilda can be pretty devastating. Here I take out that T-34 right there. And it looks like they have a Zis. Ginger gets a really nice shot on that. That's basically just a T-20, I think, with a 57mm gun. And there I full kill it. You want to make sure to be full killing their tanks so they don't come back with them. And it also looks like they dug a tank trench for them Tilda. Ginger has his own Panzer IV F2. Me and him are just kind of tag teaming these T-34s. One Panzer IV F2, if you get good enough shots, you can take care of all of these. But both of us having one certainly doesn't hurt. And here I just switched to HE on my T-34. I have it attack around near that area because that's where they have a lot of their troops. And I'm still just kind of shooting over there with my BT. Surprised they haven't even taken a shot at that, considering it's just so easy to kill. They just ignored it. And I guess they have another Dishka over there. I think that was the one that I decrewed earlier, but I didn't full kill, and so they were able to just recrew it with some troops. Tilda ends up backing off from that tank trench. Get out of our line of sight. Do some repairs. Probably a smart move on their part. Because that, I believe, only has high explosive, which it can eventually break the hull on a lot of tanks, but not as effective as using probably heats. Heats do tend to fly over shots a lot, unfortunately, but they are very effective against sloped armor. And here, as we are killing their guys off the point, we're starting to recap again. We're starting to run pretty low on score. I'm pretty sure by default defeated zeros off for Hortons, and that can usually result in really, really long games. Ginger's Panzer IV, I think, just killed a motorcycle. And that is, I think, the first T-34 they brought in, and we did not full kill that one. So we're just going to have to do it again. But these don't seem to be posing as much of a threat to us. And it looks like Ginger ends up decrewing that with his shot. And it seems to be quiet over here. It looks like they're repairing that over there. And yeah, unfortunately, I did not remember to full kill that with my BT. And I think they just recrewed that T-26 as well. So I rush up this guy over here to see if I can just kill the crewman. One good thing you can do with troops, once tanks are disabled... Ooh. Not sure what happened there. He must have gotten shot and dropped his grenade. That can happen sometimes. Very annoying. Calling another smaller tier 3 squad. It looks like it's like a mostly SMG squad with a rifle grenade. And Gandalf is, I think, bringing in another Matilda too. Soviets did use those a bit during the war as part of the Lend-Lease program. They don't really get a lot of British tanks in the main game from Lend-Lease. I believe the Soviets, the only ones that can really call in are the Churchills, which do have really good armor, but not quite really as effective as the KV-1s in the stage of the war that you can get them in. I mean, you can get them late war from the Lend-Lease doctrine, I believe, but it tends to be pretty outclassed, at least the version of the Churchill that they got during late war. The British have way, way better Churchills if you play as them. Some of those Churchills can be really, really annoying to go up against, especially the Mark 8 and the Mark 5 CS. Those are definitely annoying. Here, I get a little bored kind of just having my BT sit there and fling shots, so I decided to just charge up, see if I can just, do my thing, just come on in and just waste these guys with machine gun fire and some close range HEs to decap the point. Decided to get a little cheeky and try to run him over, but AI tend to be pretty good at just running away, dodging your shots, and it looks like they get a lucky AT grenade on my engine, and instead of trying to repair over there, which is pretty pointless, I just bailed the crew out and self-destruct it, hoping to maybe kill a few with that blast, maybe save some veteran crewmen. That is one thing that you want to try to do as often as you can when the tank ends up going kaput. Putting in your veteran crewmen, if you have any, into other tanks, just so they can have better accuracy. Fortunately, none of them made it, but at this point of the game, we're already almost at the point of winning, so not really a big deal. Here I'm just trying to splash the building with some HEs on that T-34 to hopefully kill some guys here. Usually the better option than just trying to shoot them outright, because a lot of times your shots will just fly over. If you're using especially high velocity guns rather than a cannon that can just arc, like for instance the Panzer IV F1, you want to be like trying to splash off stuff, or not even like using it to like kill people a lot of the times, but blowing up their cover with troops nearby. You destroy the cover, and then your troops will just immediately gun them down. Killing them isn't always the what you want to be going for. Might not always be the most effective thing if your troops can just do a better job for you. But yeah, their Ginger gets a really nice shot on that. I believe it was a 76mm AA gun. They're starting to decap a bit, but yep, we end up winning. Pretty good score. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is my first live post-commentary video that I've done. Definitely going to be doing more in the future. See y'all next time.